Thank you, Jen. I'll call the meeting to order. Lexi, did you want to say a few words?
Yes, so again, we are using GoToMeeting. Good job everyone on getting logged in. If you can't hear us or have questions throughout, please use the chat function located in the upper right if you are on a computer or a smartphone. If you are just calling in, I would ask that you mute whenever you can. And if you do need to jump in, just let us know. I would just need to know your name and topic. Public comment will be ran as normal. If you would like to make a comment, I would request you ask or use the chat function, or I will also ask for public comment at the time of the comment section for anyone there. Just remember to speak slowly and enunciate, and if you have questions, please let us know. Thank you.
Thank you, Lexi. Jen, will you take roll call?
Commissioner Corbin?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Waldner?
Here.
Commissioner Thill?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson? Mayor Denner?
Here. We have the agenda in front of us. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. Jen, will you take roll call vote?
Commissioner Corbin?
Aye.
Commissioner Waldner?
Aye.
Commissioner Thill?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Johnson? Mayor Denner?
Aye. Seeing nothing under appearances and acknowledgement, do we have a motion to adopt the consent calendar?
So approved.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Jen, will you take roll call?
Commissioner Thill?
Aye.
Commissioner Waldner?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Corbin?
Aye.
Mayor Denner?
Aye. Not seeing anything under unfinished business, we'll move into the new business. We'll have Kristen talk about number 1, authorize mayor to electronically sign law enforcement grant application, South Dakota Department of Public Safety, Highway Safety. Kristen?
Yes. Is Chief Meyer there?
Yes, Kristen, I'm here. Mayor and Council, what we have before you is a highway safety grant that we have applied for a number of years within the police department. It is an 80-20 overtime grant that allows our officers to go out and work and focus solely on reducing traffic accidents by speed enforcement and also seatbelt enforcement. We are requesting a $5,000 grant, which would be federal requesting of $4,000 and a local match of $1,000. There have been times in the past that we also have a 50-50 equipment match on this grant. We did not choose to utilize that this year. So basically, we're just asking for permission to request local of $1,000 and a total of $4,000 federal funds for traffic enforcement for 2021.
Okay, thank you, Justin. Anything from Jen or Kristen?
Just very quickly on the finance end, one of the reasons we asked this to be before you, this is a federal grant, and it's an example of one of our several federal grants. It is subject to not only the normal annual audit, but also a federal audit, assigned a CFDA number, and will appear, as in the past, on the final page of your audit booklet. So we on the finance end need to track the ins and outs of this, as it's subject to, again, both the annual audit and a special federal audit. So thank you.
Jen, being that comes in on our audit, do they audit, I mean, the 5,000 or the 4,000 because we do a local match of 1,000?
Both.
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 Okay. Okay. Thank you. Do I have a motion to authorize the mayor to electronically sign law enforcement grant applications, South Dakota Department of Public Safety, Highway Safety?
So moved. Second.
Either way.
Okay. I have a motion from Commissioner Waldner and a second from Commissioner Corbin. Any further discussion or comments? Not hearing any. Jen, will you take roll call vote?
Commissioner Corbin?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Waldner?
Aye.
Commissioner Thill?
Aye.
Mayor Denner?
Aye. Let's see here. Number 2. Justin, can you bring us up to speed on the approved application for outside alcohol sales permit, the office bar and grill, or Jen? If you wanted to start.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, this is Commissioner Waldner.
Yes.
I just want to make a note that I have a potential conflict and will abstain from discussion or voting on this item.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Waldner. Justin, did you have anything to go on this one, or?
I really don't have anything. It's my understanding that they've applied for the license for the outside alcohol sales. I believe our ordinance specifically states that there's got to be 6 feet of sidewalk clearance maintained with the tables out on the sidewalk. And that, if this is to be approved, with the understanding that we are still needing to follow our CDC guidelines unless that changes later on during the meeting, but there would be a maximum allowable of 10 people on those tables outside this establishment until those guidelines are lifted. So I have no issue with this. It's worked well at our other businesses in the downtown area, and I have no objections to this passage.
Thank you for explaining that to us, Justin. I do know on the application he's going to set 5 tables out, 4 people at each table, which could be a possibility of 20 people. And thank you for reminding us on the CDC guidelines. So, Jen, did you have anything on that?
I don't. All the paperwork on the finance end is in place. Justin has reviewed, and I believe there's no concerns.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve application for outside alcohol sales permit, the office bar and grill?
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion from Commissioner Corbin and a second from Commissioner Thill. Jen, roll call vote.
Commissioner Corbin?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson? Commissioner Thill?
Aye.
Commissioner Waldner will abstain, correct?
Right.
Correct.
Thank you. And Mayor Denner?
Aye. Sorry. Okay. Number 3, Kristen, can you bring us up to speed on the ratify mayor's electronic signature on damage inventory list FEMA 2019 September flood application 4469 DR-SD?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Thank you.
These damages here listed on the inventory sheet. You'll see there's the printout from the FEMA grant portal. Those damages then that we had during the flood of 2019 have all been categorized into projects that meet their criteria based on the category that they fall into. They were due last week, Monday evening, and so Mayor Denner electronically submitted submitted those, but these are the damages that the city is potentially looking to qualify for FEMA/state reimbursement.
Thank you, Kristen. Chad, did you have anything to add on this? I know you were working closely on this.
Still muted, Chad.
No, I don't have anything to add at this time.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion to ratify the mayor's electronic signature on damage inventory list FEMA 2019 September flood application 4469 DRSD?
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Jen, take a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Thill,
Aye.
Commissioner Waldner,
Aye.
Commissioner Corbett,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson, Mayor Denner.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, has Lexi tried to contact Mr. Johnson? I don't want the technology to be the reason he is unavailable for the meeting. And I'm just not real sure what's up there.
Yeah, Mike, I have been trying to contact Kelly.
Okay, I assume so, but I was just wanting to make sure. It's unfortunate if it's the technology not allowing him to participate.
Great. Thank you.
Number 4, ratify mayor's signature on Form RD 1980-88 Strategic Economic and Community Development Priority USDA Rural Development Water System Improvement Project, Sanitary and Storm Sewer. Kristen, you want to speak on this one?
Yeah. So this is a document that we were informed of last week on Thursday, late in the afternoon, and it comes to us from RD. And basically what this document does is it provides us more scoring points as far as our application for the sanitary and storm sewer. So that was the second RD grant that we applied for. This application, like I said, just allows us more scoring points. It's something that is newer on the RD end. So Diane wanted and encouraged us to do that because it helps our rating, which then eventually hopefully helps our loan/grant money as well when we find that out. So.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. Jen, did you have anything to add?
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to ratify the mayor's signature on Form RD 1980-88 Strategic Economic and Community Development Priority USDA Rural Development Water System Improvement Project, Sanitary and Storm Sewer?
Second.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. Any further discussion, comments? Not hearing any. Jen, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Corbett,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
yay, Commissioner Waldner,
Aye.
Commissioner Thill,
Aye.
Mayor Denner.
Aye. Glad to hear you back, Kelly.
Welcome back, Kelly.
We will jump down to number.
I wasn't really, and this is the second time this has happened. I wasn't gone. I could hear you guys, but you couldn't hear me.
Okay.
I don't know why. That happened one other time too.
Okay.
But anyway, let's continue.
Okay.
Auspicious
Number.
agenda.
Okay. Number 5. Chad, you want to bring us up to speed? I know Pat's on the line too from Banner. Review and award bids, Water System Improvement Project, Phase 1A.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Denner, members of the commission, and those listening to the public, thank you. First, if I may go over what's in the agenda packet, award recommendation letter from Pat Carey of Banner Associates, 2-page letter, a spreadsheet consisting of 3 pages, titled in the upper left-hand corner, funding breakdown, and thirdly, a bid tabulation, certified bid tabulation sheet. Mr. Carey has certified with a watermark of Banner Associates on it for the said project. That was included in the agenda packet. This is the bid for Phase 1A for the rural, what we commonly refer to as our rural development project. This is where there's water main throughout the northwest part of town, and that we are seeking rural development funding for, and the balance of the improvements here will be funded by self-funding through general fund and the sewer fund, and then some second consent funds. All those have previously been reviewed during budget time and incorporated therein for the project. There was 6 bids received, as the letter Mr. Carey had indicated, ranging from 4.2 to 5.5 million. The low bid was from J&J Earthworks out of Millbank, South Dakota, at 4.282,305.64 for this project. Banner Associates has reached out to J&J Earthworks. They are comfortable with their bid and for the project. The estimated cost for the project, we were $676,000 below the engineer's estimate for the project. That's indicated in Mr. Carey's letter. And in addition to some of the planning documents we've been working on since the rural development project's inception, we were just over $500,000 under some of the anticipated 3-year project costs for this particular project. There's been 2 meetings of what I'll refer to as the steering committee, if you will. Mayor Danner's included on that, Commissioner Corbin's included in that, Utility Director Lawrence, Finance Officer Eimers, Mr. Morris, Toby Morris, our financial consultant at Banner Associates, and in addition, staff from Rural Development, where we've been talking about among other things, this bid, and I believe it is fair to say that steering committee recommends approval, as do I recommend approving this bid and proceeding with Phase 1A of this project. And I would stand by, again, I mentioned a lot of other folks in that committee, if they want to add to any components that I omitted or clarify anything I may have misstated, I would stand by for questions.
This is Commissioner Corbin. I guess I'm one of the people you mentioned. We've been working on this for close to 2 years, so it's exciting to get to this point where we can award some work. Happy to see where the bids came in. It's always fun when they come in a little bit lower than what the engineers thought. Any highlights or anything exciting here in the bidding to talk about? Chad or Pat, I guess? Or whoever that was, Brad?
That was me. I was wondering, this is Kelly, I was wondering, that was a significant amount of money, the difference. I read your email on that today, Chad. Obviously that's a great thing to see, but that's amazing. Anything you can comment about that? Why?
As far as the projections for the cost estimates and the engineer's estimate, I'll maybe talk a little bit about that, then I can let Mr. Carey clarify, but those are the best estimates based upon surrounding bids, and they, in this case, Banner Associates experience for this type of work and project, taking into consideration, local work atmosphere, current bidding environments, and such like that. It's just that, this bidder was provided a satisfactory bid. They were well below some of the others, and they needed the work, and they're competent and able to perform it. And I guess that's my initial comment, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
Chad, have we had this company in the past, by any chance?
I have not worked with this company in the past. Mr. Carey had indicated that he has worked with them on multiple occasions in some other projects where Banner Associates was affiliated. And perhaps I might just let Mr. Carey speak briefly about that, with his experience with them.
Thanks, Chad. So as some of you may know, we have a small office up at Millbank, and that's where J&J is headquartered out of. And probably for the last, 8 to 10 years, they've been the successful bidder on nearly every city project up there. So that's our direct work with them. And then as far as other similar size projects to what we're talking about here with Phase 1A, they do have a pretty good resume of other work that they've done both in South Dakota and Minnesota as a company. And again, as Chad kind of alluded to, I think it's just the fortune of good timing where they had a crew that was looking for some work. This bid came around at the right time for them, and they were able to be very competitive with the bid that they submitted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Is there any?
Members of the commission, I forgot to add, this bid at the request of staff from Rural Development should, if you choose to award it and it proceeds in that manner, it should be contingent upon Rural Development's concurrence.
Okay.
Okay. So do I have a motion to review and award the bid to J&J Earthworks, Water System Improvement Project Phase 1A on continuance of R&D approval? Is that correct, Chad?
Yes, sir. Contingent upon R&D for approval, yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to review and award bid to J&J Earthworks, the amount of $4,282,305.64 for Water System Improvement Project Phase 1A, assuming we get RD concurrence.
Second.
Okay. Any further comments, discussion? Not hearing any. Jen, will you take roll call?
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Corbin.
Aye.
Commissioner Waldner.
Aye.
Commissioner Thill.
Aye.
Mayor Danner.
Aye. Number 6, Jen, you want to bring us up to authorize the mayor to sign the agreement local number 426 of the IBEW Employee Bargaining Unit.
I will, thank you. As part of your agenda packet, you have in your agenda packet a draft agreement that I placed in the packet late on Friday, hoping we could iron out some minor details between now and then. I believe we were able to do that. As of 4:22 this afternoon, we got a clean copy back from the IBEW that was thoroughly reviewed by our office, and we are comfortable with everything in this agreement. As per the numerous conversations we've had with the group. I'm going to defer to Ms. Bolander to point out just a couple minor things that have changed since the draft that you have before you, please.
Okay, guys, the first change we'll have, there's two of them on page 3. You'll see on line 2, it references a date of August 1st, 2021. On there, what we are changing, or what the union proposed to change, was taking out the years on there. It just makes cleanup for future, so we don't have to go back and change that year every time we negotiate this contract. It still reads the same, as they would change that subsequent annual expiration date requesting of that agreement. Again, just a change to wording, verbiage, cleanup. No changes there. The next change that we would have considered for your guys' approval is on page 45, section 4. In the original draft, your last sentence in section 4 stated, and this will be taken out, if unusual or emergency conditions exist, a sit-down hot meal may be provided at the city's expense, with or without compensation per the department head. This has been striked and will actually put what was currently in the old contract, which reads, when emergency conditions require extended or unusual work conditions, a lunch shall be provided every 4 hours worked, a hot meal every 8 hours until released. We felt this really didn't make too much of a difference in our standing, so we agreed to change that verbiage back. Those were the only 2 changes from your draft you received on Friday.
Also, please note the term of the agreement. We would make it effective April 26th, which was yesterday, the beginning of a payroll. Continues through December 31st of 2021, with a opener in this August, if the group so chooses, for wages and health for fiscal year 2021.
Thank you, Jen and Lexi. Do I have a motion to authorize the mayor to sign agreement local number 426 of the IBEW Employee Bargaining Unit?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further comment, discussion? Not hearing any. Jen, roll call.
Commissioner Corbin.
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Waldner.
Aye.
Commissioner Thill.
Aye.
Mayor Denner.
Aye. Lexi, number 7, will you bring us up to speed on the adopted resolution number 2020-13, employee compensation for 2020?
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, we are looking at this resolution to pretty much put in effect what we just approved of in that IBEW contract. Again, as Jen had stated, this would be in effect with payroll 10, which again started yesterday. This is just in accordance with our normal salary resolutions that you see every year. We're just getting the electric department's section E included in there.
The benefits for Section E have also been updated accordingly and will match, of course, the union contract agreement that you just approved.
So do I have a motion to adopt resolution number 2020-13, employee compensation for 2020?
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any further comments, discussion? Not hearing any. Jen, will you take roll call vote?
Commissioner Thill.
Aye.
Commissioner Waldner.
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Corbin.
Aye.
And Mayor Denner.
Aye. Lexi, will you bring us up to speed on number 8, adopt policy 2.26, conflict of interest?
Yes, to the group, you will see before you the conflict of interest. This, you'll notice it may not match our current numbering. This is from our new policy, which we hope to roll out here in the next month or so. The reason we are having this come up right now is with the grants, 2 of them that you guys approved today to go forward with, do need a conflict of interest. In the past, we have been working with an old resolution to satisfy that need, and we've been talking for a while about needing to update that to include verbiage that all of these state and federal grants do need. I will say that this policy comes directly from the South Dakota Municipal League and their contracted attorney. That's pretty much it, cut and dried from there. I guess I would recommend approval. It applies to everything we need in those grants.
So this is somewhat of a boilerplate that puts us in line for those state and federal grants.
Correct.
Do I have a motion to adopt policy 2.26, conflict of interest?
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any further comments or discussion? Not hearing any. Jen, take roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Corbin?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson?
Aye.
Commissioner Thill?
Aye.
Commissioner Waldner?
Aye.
Mayor Denner?
Aye. Number 9, Justin, adopt resolution number 2020-14, limit the number of patrons inside casino bar and restaurant following CDC guidelines. Did you want to touch base on this one, please?
Yeah, this is basically just extending out our current resolution that it was set to expire on the 4th of May out to the 22nd. I believe if my date is correct, and it will keep everything as is currently, which would allow up to 10 patrons, not including staff inside a building and also 10 outside the building. I would recommend this to continue at least for a little while. We can always come back. We had spoke briefly, these numbers are starting to come down here, which is a good sign, but I don't know that we're out of the woods just yet. So that would be my recommendation.
And I agree with you, Justin. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. And I did have a meeting, a telephone conversation with Governor Noem. She is going to be setting out some new guidelines, hopefully tomorrow. So I would be in favor, like Justin says, to push this off for another month or till May 22nd. And if them new guidelines come down from Governor Noem, that we can maybe do something, work something else out, take some of the restrictions off. We can always do that before the 22nd if need to be.
This is Commissioner Corbin. That sounds like a good plan to me. We need to remember this stuff's not set in stone. If the situation on the ground changes, absolutely we can adjust this too.
I agree with Commissioner Corbin. I think this is a reasonable amount of time. As we all have seen, there's starting to be some movements in some cities and some states. There's a lot of fracas, and whatever we do, I like to have our citizens have clarity to what we're doing. And I think this length of time allows us to provide for that clarity as opposed to having an extensive period of time when we don't know for sure what's going to happen, and we could end up tripping over ourselves and creating great confusion for our citizenry. So I think this is a good plan, Justin.
Do I have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution number 2020-14, limit the number of patrons inside casino bars and restaurant following the CDC guidelines.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Any further comment, discussion? Is there anything on chat, Lexi?
Have there been any citations issued at this point?
Justin, did you, has there been any citations given out?
No, there has not at this point. We've been doing a pretty good job. We've been keeping an eye on things and haven't really had any major concerns up to this point, which is great to see.
Thank you, sir. Any further comments, discussion?
I guess just along with what Justin's comment there, I think we compliment also to the retailers, the persons who own the business for doing their part to see that this works, and also for the patrons, the people who do business there also, in helping us make this work.
Not hearing any more comments, discussion. Jen, will you take roll call vote?
Commissioner Corbin?
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson?
Aye.
Commissioner Waldner?
Aye.
Commissioner Thill?
Aye.
Mayor Denner?
Aye. Number 10, Gilly, I'll let you start off with, let's start with the recycling, discuss the public use of city facilities. Let's start with the recycling.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And again, I want to apologize to everyone for not, for some reason this happened to me one other time. I dialed in and I could hear you guys, and so I hung up and redialed and then got in. So I really do apologize for my apparent absence at the beginning of the meeting. The recycling things have been working pretty well. It helped with, in fact, I think they've been working very well. We've kept the traffic down inside the building. We've had the dumpsters outside, or the cans outside. We've only had a couple of requests. That was that we mark them maybe where, the cans in one and cardboard in another, and whatever articles in them, that we mark them so that people know, which tells me people are willing to cooperate with us and to try to sort things the best they can. So I feel really that it's been a positive move. I have no complaints about it whatsoever. I think we'd like to continue on with this for the time being.
I do believe the last time we talked about this, we were going till April 30th.
Correct. You acted on this, gentlemen, back on March 30th, and at that time you said it was closed to activity until April 30th and then reevaluated.
Do we want to go another month on the recycling? What would that put us for, Dave? I think Lexi can. You want to go, well, last day of May is the 31st. Do we want to just go till June 1st, that next meeting? Is that would that be okay, Kelly?
That would be, I think that would work fine for us and for the department. We had no complaints about it or any difficulties, so June 1st would be great.
June 1st? Is there any action
Correct.
needs to be done on that, David?
No.
No, okay. How about the city armory, Kelly? Same thing?
I really don't have anything to report. Mike, I believe Mike is here in Gilbert somewhere. Do you have anything you want to say about that, Mike?
Just the election is June 2nd, so if we went to there's nothing scheduled that I know of, so we should be good till June 1st at that deadline.
Right. So, at this point, I think we've got the building locked down for the election on the 1st and 2nd, right?
Correct. Correct.
So, that kind of falls in line with what we do with the recycling center. So if we want to just extend it to till after the election, and then we can make a decision if we want to go further with that.
Okay.
But right now, things seem to be working okay.
All right, we'll do that. And the last item would be the CC.
Can I say
Yep.
one thing before
Yep.
we go into the
Yep.
CC? I'm getting a lot of calls about the ball diamonds, about people being on the ball diamonds. So, as what I've been telling everybody is CDC guidelines, 10 people. I'm not gonna go out there and say that a guy can't play catch with his kid out there, but when they're having organized team practices, other towns are not allowing it, and I've been not allowing it. And I just want the commission to know that I think that we need to probably tell them, we got to make a date for the ballparks because the organizations and associations want a date to go by so that they can set their thing.
I agree. Even though I'm not the right contact, I have had multiple people reach out to me asking what the rule or the policy is going to be as for organized sports and the ball diamonds. I'm not talking about a father and a son wanting to go play catch, but I've been asked by organization leaders if and when they're going to be able to access those ball diamonds. And so I think it's something that if the city can't deal with this Monday, they most certainly need to deal with next Monday because it's coming up very, very frequently.
I had 5 phone calls this weekend.
Yeah, I probably had 3.
Would June 1st be
That's what I was
an exorbitant amount of time?
Are
It'd
we?
be consistent with what we said about the other facility.
Are you saying we will look at the ball diamonds for organized sports June 1st again?
We review it on June 1st again. Yeah, I'm not saying we look. I don't think I don't think I could be in the position as commissioner. And Mike, you can certainly feel free to disagree with me on this, but I don't think.
I think you.
Before June 1st, we're going to know.
I think
a whole lot more than we do right now.
I think we need to be clear, though, what we're saying until June 1st. What is it that we're saying? Are we saying that the ball diamonds, that the city ball diamonds are closed, period? Are they closed to organized team sports? Until June 1, I think we just need to give the public some clarity here, especially if we're going to ask maybe law enforcement to keep an eye on it. Let's be clear on what we're saying is prohibited until June 1.
Agree. 100%.
May I interject?
Yes. Yes.
Right now, the National American Legion is going to make a decision on Legion baseball on the 15th of May. So just putting that into the mix. By the way, this is Pat Vaughn. So this might come at us a little bit if all of a sudden that, but we, as the Legion, I'll do everything I can, will comply.
I think you go June 1st, like David said,
with
and then
organized.
if something changes, like the CDC lifts their guidelines, we can come back and lift it open, but then at least they know nothing's happening until June 1st for sure, unless the CDC lifts their guidelines. I mean, that's what I say. But
no organized.
No organized sports.
Correct.
Until
June.
Up until June 1st, and then we'll discuss it further after that. I'd like to think we could lift that restriction, and there would be able to be some organized sports after June 1st. But I just have no way of knowing. I don't think anybody does. But I think June 1st gets us through the school year. It's still people can, as Mike said, people can still be out there. Somebody playing catch with their son or their friend, whatever the case may be. But as far as organized sports, they're not allowed.
Okay.
The other commissioners, I guess, have to indicate whether they're comfortable with that or not.
I like that, Kelly. Thank you for that.
Yeah, this is Commissioner Corbin. I agree. June 1st sounds like a good time to reevaluate.
Yeah, I feel that's okay.
I think, though, that we should be clear on the record that there are going to be multiple leagues, multiple commissioners, multiple coaches, ordering equipment, ordering shirts. So when you say we're going to, quote, reevaluate on June 1, there's going to be a whole lot of people that what they heard tonight is that these ball diamonds are going to open on June 1, and that we can, in fact, go ahead with T-ball, that we can go ahead with baseball, we can go ahead with softball. And so I just hope that it's clear that this commission is closing these ball diamonds to organized league sports until June 1, and that the commission's reserving their right to, again, on or before June 1, say, nope, we're going to go another month, or another 2 months, or another 3 months, as people are trying to play in league games, tournaments, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
This is Commissioner Waldner. Are we better just to say that they are closed until further notice and just leave it at that?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I know there's a whole lot of I don't knows right now with this pandemic. But Mike, that's a good question and a decent statement. But I could see sitting here as a baseball parent tonight hearing that the season's going to start on June 1. And then the commission shows up on May 25th and says, just kidding. Those shirts you ordered, those dues that you took, that schedule that you made and revised, that's not going to happen now.
Yeah,
But I also don't know, Mike, if there's a better way to do it.
Yeah, and even with the media getting that message out there in plain language, short of doing another resolution specifically for it, I think it's kind of however anybody else wants to say it. I mean, I understand that people are looking for a date. I'm looking for a date. We're all looking for, the whole world's looking for a date. But when you can't come up with that, maybe it is better for us just to say until further notice, or again, we can say until further notice, and it will be reevaluated at every meeting. Keep this on as a running agenda item.
You're going to have a very, very large sport in the city of Madison, that being youth softball and youth baseball. They're looking for some answers and some clarity.
This is Commissioner Thill. Commissioner Johnson, what has the park board said about this?
I can touch base on that. This is Mike. We haven't had a park board meeting in April due to the COVID. We had an emergency one about the swimming pool. It was going to be discussed on the May 11th park board meeting. As of right now, from what I'm talking through the grapevine of the park board, I can't speak for all of them, but most of them are saying that they need to be closed until this COVID goes through. How can we not have the playgrounds taped off and not have the ball diamonds open? So they don't want to take any risk of it being the spread factor of it, is what I've been being told too. But there's still people out there practicing. A week ago on Sunday, my phone blew up.
So Mike, you're saying the park board is going to meet on May 11th?
Correct.
And going to talk about the ball diamonds?
Correct.
Then I think the way that you could fashion this as a commission is to say that the ball diamonds are closed until June 1st. But I would suggest having as an agenda item the park board's recommendation on the meeting after they meet on the 11th.
Okay, that's where I was.
And I'll come report. I mean, I can tell what the park board said, but
We should have at least one park board rep here that night.
Okay.
Okay. Are we okay with that?
On the meeting after the 11th, that's what you're saying, David?
Yeah, I'm saying that's fine if the commission wants to close the ball diamonds until June 1, but have as an agenda item the meeting after May 11th to accept and hear the park board's recommendation
Actually, the park board meeting is going to be May 12th, just to clarify. It's not the 11th, just it's the 12th at 5:30.
That's May 18th. So we will look at it on May 18th.
Okay.
Does that sound good to everybody?
Yeah, I think that'll work. I think that can work.
Okay.
May I throw
Can
playgrounds
I
back in
interject
there?
here real quick?
What's that now?
Are we closing these parks to everybody or organized team activities only? So if mom and dad want to go play catch with a kid at the ballpark, are we going to allow that to take place?
Justin?
Or is this for organized team activities?
Justin, I don't even think we'd have, unless there's going to be a resolution completely closing all parks and rec facilities in Madison, I think you have to let informal gatherings go. We don't have a resolution like our bars restaurant resolution. And I don't know of a resolution. Yeah, and I don't know of a resolution that's closed every park in this city. So to answer your question, at least where we stand now, is it's to organize league activities.
That's perfect. I just wanted to make sure that clarification was in place. Thank you.
Playgrounds were discussed back in March. I'm assuming, but never assumed, that playgrounds would be included in this June 1st date. So you're looking at the Armory, the Recycling Center, and the playgrounds.
Ball diamond complexes. June 1st.
Yep, and then the ball diamonds to organized sports.
Again, we did not make a resolution on the playgrounds. We just asked people to stay away from those. Correct? There was no resolution on that, or
That's correct, Kelly.
okay. There was, and I'm not proposing one either. I'm just asking people to exercise caution and to continue to do so.
I'm simply following up on what hit the minutes last time, so that we're addressing all entities. Thank you.
No, I appreciate that. Because it's difficult sometimes to separate those. But yeah, I agree with what David said, and I think Justin, you have a pretty clear picture of what we're looking here for now. Staying away from the organized sports until June 1st. Park board will meet on the 12th. Make some decisions, and the following meeting, I believe the mayor's the 18th, correct, Mayor?
Yes, May
We'll have
18th.
a representative there, ask a representative from the park board to be their representative or representatives to discuss that with us.
We're good on those?
June 1.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one, and I will let Nick from the community center start out on the list of restrictions for the community center to be reopened. Nick, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
All right, we'll give you a little rundown. Good evening, everybody. Our governing board, we've had a great discussion. We've had great ideas of putting restrictions to maybe being able to open it up by May 4th. And I'll just run down a few of those restrictions. Basically, each individual member would be allowed 50 minutes per workout with a total of 1 hour in their building. Members would be allowed to participate in outside groups and would be allowed 50 minutes to still be able to make a facility in their appointment, by an appointment. We're still going to stick with CDC guidelines, so it's allowing 10 people in the establishment per hour, excluding our staff. In attendance to the 10, we will allow walk-ins, walk-in appointments. If an individual arrived 30 minutes after the designated hour, so let's say if somebody was scheduled at 9 o'clock and they showed up at 9:30, they only have until 9:50 to do their workout and be gone. So it's basically 10 people every hour from 5 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night on our normal operating hours. Of course, we encourage the individuals 65 and older to stay home, or anybody in the high-risk category. Individuals that work out start on that hour and finish 10 minutes upon the hour. We have extra cleaning things in our guidelines. We'll have people come. We'll have a staff that comes in from 8 to 9, and then 1 to 2, and then from 7 to 8, which is our busier times, where we would be able to re-clean some stuff after we already clean it during the day. Obviously, there's not going to be any group classes inside, no ASP, no daycare, no rock wall, no open swim. And the biggest thing is just open to our members for right now, and there'll be no guest passes, and there'll be no new membership at this time. And our 24-hour studio will still be closed. That sums it all about. Yep, that sums it up.
You're looking at reopening May 4th, right?
Yep, that'd be about 6 weeks that we've been closed. And I think it's a pretty strong restrictions compared to a lot of things.
Is there any further comments or discussion?
This is Commissioner Corbin. It sounds like you guys put a lot of thought into it. It's been pretty well vetted. I think this is a cautious first step, and we'll see how it goes. If things go south, we can always close her down again, but I'm comfortable with this.
This is an extremely unique matter, in that 20 years ago, I think both the City of Madison and Dakota State University gave up their power to make direct decisions on the community center. And it's governed by a joint powers agreement that's 20 years old, but still in full force and effect. And it gives the community center's governing board the authority to determine when this building opens and doesn't open. Now, with that said, the City of Madison can still control that through a resolution or an ordinance, much like the one we passed for restaurants and bars. But absent one of those resolutions or ordinances, I think the community center governing board has the ability to make the determination on when and how this facility opens. I do think it's important that if the community center board, governing board hasn't met, they should meet darn quick to have a vote on when and how they're going to open. I don't know, I can't say that they have or haven't. I'm unaware of one, but they should meet and meet quickly to do just that. This really lands on your desks tonight as a matter of discussion and as a sort of a heads up. If there's any questions on what I think the jurisdictional issues are here, or how the city would or would not maintain authority over the community center, I'm happy to try to answer those.
Sounds good, David. Thanks for the clarity.
Yeah, I think Nick can, this is Commissioner Wallner. Nick, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think initially the vote was April 27th, which was today, which I thought was a little too early. The May 4th seems to be a little more palatable. Obviously, you've worked out some more of the restrictions. I think maybe even tightening them up even more than what I've seen before. You know, and obviously, like Corbin had mentioned, you know, kudos to you guys for vetting this out and really doing this, and you know, with the caveat, if things don't go well, we have somebody that is a positive case who has been in the facility or anything to do with it, obviously then, you know, I hope the board understands that at that point in time that they should close it down until we get some, you know, professional cleaning and whatever else it takes to straighten it back out.
And Mike, to that point, certainly if God forbid we find out that the community center is the cause of some sort of an outbreak. I mean, the city of Madison can take control of this via resolutions and ordinances, much like you did with bars and restaurants, but you can go even farther in what lawyers are calling a rapid city style ordinance that closes all sorts of those facilities. It's just that when you do that, you're going to close every facility like that in Madison. You're not going to just close the community center. You're going to have to close for-profit ones as well.
Any further discussion?
I have one question.
Yep.
This is Jenny Thompson. I'm a member of the Community Center Board, and Mike was right. We did meet on April 16th, and we discussed having the 27th as our opening date. And then we had a further meeting with the four-person board, and we discussed the 4th. So are you suggesting, David, that we have another meeting to set in stone that 4th date?
Whatever, you need to set in stone whatever date you plan on opening, whether it's the 4th or it's after. I think there needs to be a meeting, and I think there needs to be a successful motion adopting your restrictions of opening and your date of opening.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, this is Commissioner Wallner again, and Jenny, I would also recommend that as part of that motion, and I can work with Nick on this as well, that, if there is a positive case from anybody associated, a visitor, anybody with the community center, that as part of that motion is that it is immediately closed until further notice, until we get a grip on it, because like David said, the last thing, certainly myself as Public Safety Commissioner, the last thing I want is the community center is the source of an outbreak, or even one person gets sick as a result of going to the community center.
We will take that into consideration.
I have a question for Nick and the board. Are you guys going to take the temperatures as they come in?
As of now, no. I think our restrictions that we have in place right now are going to determine if a person wants to come here. Obviously, we're following CDC guidelines, so I'm hoping the public would make the right decision, or our members would make the right decision if they're sick, that they would stay home.
Commissioner Thiel, are you talking of the employees at the CC, or, as Nick indicated, the members?
The members.
We had discussed that, but we decided not to put that in our restrictions. I know they don't even do that at the hospital when you go for an appointment at the hospital.
Yes, they do. They started that.
Okay, the last time I was there last week, they weren't doing it.
They have started that.
Okay.
Yep.
It was just a question. I didn't say anybody had to do
Commissioner
it.
Thiel, do you think that's something we should do for the employees? A lot of retail or a lot of companies across U.S. are doing it.
I don't think that would be a bad idea, Mike. I think it not only in the community center, it should be done citywide employees.
We have discussed the same in our office and actually have 2 thermometers that we're waiting to have delivered to us to potentially implement that within our building.
What do you think, Commissioner Waldner?
Well, I think if you're looking at doing that, Jen, make sure you visit with the hospital on how to sanitize them so that we're not between individuals.
I think most of them use the infrared, Mike, is what's out there. So, yep.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on the reopening of the CC? Not hearing any, we will move into number 11. Kelly, discuss 2020 summer status of Madison Aquatic Center.
When we met last week, I had taken a poll over the weekend of the community, the Park and Rec Board, and the majority of them favored keeping the pool closed at this time. asked the commission on advice of counsel, legal counsel, thought we should probably have a resolution from them, and they did make a resolution to that effect in the majority, that we not open the Madison Aquatic Center. There are a couple things I think are noteworthy. There was quite a discussion. It was a good discussion. Mike was in attendance. Miguel Bree, as was Lori Bunker, the former supervisor of the Aquatic Center, gave us quite a bit of help just by virtue of information. A couple of things I want to note. We know of the Arlington swimming pool, the Spearfish swimming pool. They have decided not to close. They have decided to close. Also, the Sioux Falls Aquatic Centers, the public ones, will also be closed at this time. It appears from some polling on Lori's part and a little bit on mine, calling a couple of the communities, that they tend to lean towards probably being closed, but they aren't sure, and those decisions will probably be made in May. The latest she felt that we can make a decision anyway was May 4th, given the schedule of the kind of things that have to happen to get the pool open, the Aquatic Center open. Aberdeen has gone ahead in their hiring, but it's contingent upon some things so that they don't have to, they're hoping to, if they don't open, they can avoid having to pay unemployment. At this time, we really don't have a supervisor for the facility because we closed the search for that position some time ago. Discussed the cost of just opening the pool. It's a significant cost just to get it open, and I think I talked about that last week. One of the members says, can we go back to the old way we were doing it, where Lori supervised both pools, and that is not contractually going to happen. Lori's position has changed at the community. Lori Bunker, our former aquatics director, aquatic center director, her position has changed at the community center, and she would not be able to do that any longer. So we have no pool manager at this time. There were several other concerns raised about the pandemic and possible of the peak coming, but another peak coming. But one of the things that was interesting was the water itself is not an issue as much because it's well sanitized, but it's the deck when people are out of the pool or sitting in their chairs or at the concession stands. Those are the things that start to present themselves as places where contagion can occur. One of the members was concerned about, so how can we plan to be successful? And I'm not sure we can answer that. So they recommended that the MAC be closed for the summer at this time. Obviously, if conditions changed significantly, they would probably reconsider that. But at this point, it appears that it doesn't appear. The recommendation from the Park and Rec Board was that we keep the Madison Aquatic Center closed at this time.
Kelly, is there some work to be finished up on that from last year before we can even open up?
There is.
So we have
about one. To categorize it, Mayor Marshall, about 1/3 of the work is left. We could get that done, and still get it open if it weren't for the pandemic concerns.
Right.
But at this time, the COVID concerns. But at this time, and we will do that. In fact, we'll through the summer, the plan is to take this opportunity to do some other kinds of things, some cleanup work and some tune-up work to the aquatic center that we haven't done, or that haven't been able to get to in the past.
Okay, so just so I heard you right, Kelly, the park board recommendation is to close it for the year.
To leave it closed, yes.
Yep.
For the year.
Okay.
Mike, is there anything else that I'm missing that you think of?
One thing, Lori Bunkers with the community center said that since the pool wasn't open, they were going to try to have a reduced swimming pass rate for the community center for members to be able to come swim at the community center if we get through this with the CDC guidelines and stuff. And I don't know what the status of that is. I know it has been a discussion with the CC, but I'm not positive on what the status of it is.
Nick, are you still there?
Still there. It was discussed, and it only, number one, when the CDC basically would lift their guidelines, then yes, we would try to come up with a solution to be able to offer a package there for the summer. But it'd also only be allowed for Madison and Lake County residents only.
Okay.
No outside. Just Lake County only.
Mm-hmm. I had a chance to read the things that your guidelines that you're setting in place, and at this time it would appear that wouldn't work currently. It would have to be if the CDC guidelines changed in the future. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Any other questions?
I guess I have one statement. I mean, I don't want to close the aquatic center, but there's a lot of ifs out there. Can we get the work finished before we open it up? What the cost is to fill the pool up and get it ready to go? Can we get a manager hired? Can we get lifeguards hired? With all these unknowns, it's not that we want to close the aquatic center, but I think for a financial aspect of it, it'd be in our best interest to just take the recommendation and keep it closed. Anybody else have any comments? Not.
I did have someone contact me just before the meeting started and asked, is there a chance we can open it maybe in 1st of July? And again, the response to that is it depends on how this thing plays out. The COVID continues to play out, what the CDC guidelines continue to be. It's very difficult to think about that thing not being open. I don't think there's any of us want this in any way. It's just that it is the right thing to do. And as the mayor said, there are so many ifs about what could about opening it that I think at this time the Park and Rec Board's recommendation was the right one to go with.
Thank you, Kelly. Not hearing anything else. Is there anything on public comment?
No, sir.
Is there anybody in the audience? I'm going to unmute. If anybody has anything that they would like to say, please let us know.
Okay. No announcements. I should say, is there any announcements? Excuse me. Not hearing any. Do I have a motion to go into exec session?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Do you want a roll call vote on that, Jen? Oh. All in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Motion carries. We will go into exec session.
Commissioners, we'll see you in the other meeting.